Hi everyone, I wanted to share with you a descending clipper haircut. I'm going to be using the Babyliss clippers. I'm also going to be using this Andis little trimmer just to carve out the sides. I'm also going to be using a few different combs. When I scissor over comb, I like to use a large Davy comb. Ultimately, the best way to actually work with clipper work is blow drying that in. Is blow drying the sides in, so it just cuts a lot better, a lot cleaner. You get more consistency with the clippers. But before I do that, I'm just going to section from recession line. I'm going to comb the hair up into a horseshoe parting. So it's important to keep your nice clean sections. So clip the hair out the way as I go around. So a horseshoe section is designed realistically to complement this occipital bone area here. As this occipital bone comes down, my section pattern curves around and back into the other side. Okay, so we've sectioned off into a nice clean section pattern, taking my horseshoe section. Right then, so I'm just going to start with the sides, okay? So what we're going to be doing here is working our way up, clippering out a lot of the bulk, a lot of the weight out of the hair, but this is going to come up a bit shorter. But as I work through to the back, this is all going to be blended. As you work up with the clippers, the longer the guard, the longer the strokes. The shorter the guard, the shorter the strokes. So bear in mind, as I work through to the back here, I'm going to be curving my section. So my angle comes up a bit more. I'm going to use a closed guard, but when I start opening it up, that's really for when I'm starting to blend in. This is a 1.5. So remember I did a 2. I'm coming a little bit lower than the 2. Just blending it in. I'm just going to show you one side and then we're going to fast forward through the second side for you, okay? The clippers have come on so good at the moment. Like these clippers are amazing. So as I come down shorter on each clipper grade. As I'm doing the 0.5, I'm actually coming more like this and working around in this section. Then I'm going to come in a little bit shorter through this area again. I don't really like too many lines myself. I just like to keep it a little bit softer, a little bit more natural. As it grows out, a little bit better. So once I've completed that, I move into my Davy comb, my carbon hard comb. I'm going to come up, I'm going to blend the top. So with scissor over comb, you constantly have to keep the blade and the comb moving at the same time. So realistically what you're trying to do is elevate the hair up, elevate the hair out, still keep it kind of square so you can maintain that shape. What happens there is if you just take it off through the top areas rather than rounding it too much, just take it through the top areas there, you get that nice consistent blend. When you do a scissor over comb, the way to check that is this line that appears underneath the scalp. Run the comb up, make sure that that line underneath is nice and straight. This line here. So I'm going to repeat the same on the opposite side and I'll join you at the top, okay? If you like what we're doing, please leave a comment below and hit that subscribe button. I'm going to start sectioning the top areas now. I'm going to just work through the crown area just to blend this through. So I'm taking a profile vertical section and my blend is really there, right? So I'm just going to trim this down. I'm going to pivot in a radial section. I don't want to take too much off this crown, I'll be honest with you. I also wanted to mention, as I come through to the detailing work, I move into a smaller comb and my 5.5 inch blade by Akito. I just like the 5.5 inch blade for when I'm doing short haircuts. Realistically, my elevation goes from 90 degrees from the top of the head, and as it curves around, 90 degrees, and as I come to the side, it's almost vertical. Now we come horizontal, across the top of the head, right the way across, and I work, descend towards the front hairline. So as I work through to my front areas, my elevation before was rounding through the back, and as I work through to the front, I want to keep the length in it through the side areas here, through the top. So my distribution on hair is still square to the top of the head, so it moves into a square technique. Okay, so I'm going to work descending towards the front hairline in horizontal sections, elevating up, exposing my guideline, and just blending in and keeping that square. So I'll see you at the front of the haircut. Once you have cut the top areas, it's very important that you always comb the hair forward, make sure that those ends are balanced. Just take any dust that needs to come off, any structure, any fray edges. Make sure it's balanced. We just clean up through those areas. Comb it through, check the balance with your client in the mirror. Okay, always go over the eyebrows. You can use the wide end of the tooth comb. Just comb them up. See if there's any long pieces. You can just come in and just expose those. Don't take them too short, but just take a lot of the stray areas away. Still keep the thickness. If I'm going to take like one hair, I'm almost using my finger as an easel, like an artist easel. And I'm cutting, so I have control. My blade hits my hand, shows control, and cut them off. Once I've finished that, I just come through with the Andis mini clipper, go over the ears, just come around the hairline. There's nothing to cut through the sides, just the back here. So I'm going to be using a little bit of matte paste in the L'Oreal. Lovely, lovely product in the men's home range. You only use a tiny bit of it. It's like a pliable product, but it gives you a little bit of hold, and it's nice and it stays in the hair. Also wanted to use the texture or the super dust to give us a bit more texture in the hair, a little bit of hold. Lovely, lovely product. You can actually just apply this if you didn't want to use any wax. Hi everyone, and thank you for watching. This is a highly trimmed down version of this technique. So if you want more information, you can head over to hairdressinglive.com, where we share with you lots of industry knowledge and full masterclasses.